What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys, pretty much a commentary video of boxing on regular network TV. It was brought up from a message from Quinones 102, another boxing channel here. Be sure to check him out. He's been making more videos lately. But asked me a question about should boxing be on regular TV, because you have professional baseball, basketball, football, hockey, and tennis, etc., all on network television, and boxing isn't. So I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a video on, because there's so much I wanted to say in the message, but I couldn't say it all. I did send the message back. But I decided to make a video on it because there's just a lot to say, and I thought it would be an interesting video topic. In the United States, network television tends to air other professional sports and not boxing. Even mixed martial arts is starting to be showcased out in the United States, and while boxing, you have to catch it on cable, because it doesn't come on regular TV. And also I've noticed this, and as I mentioned, I don't have a problem at all with mixed martial arts, but I just noticed that now there are more outlets for mixed martial arts, because you have Showtime, and there's actually a couple smaller channels that are starting to air mixed martial arts. Network television on Saturday nights out here air mixed martial arts on on NBC. NBC airs mixed martial arts like very late at night, and CBS does from time to time. So now it's becoming more of an outlet for mixed martial arts. And then basketball, you have your NBA channel, ESPN, and you even have stuff like Sports Ticket for basketball, football, and baseball, and hockey, I believe. So you have kind of like a direct ticket type deal where you could get like a league pass, and you could watch every single game. And boxing doesn't really have that. And I believe that it'd be interesting if boxing actually had something like what DirecTV has, kind of like a league pass, to where you could watch like any basketball. It's like how you do with the basketball game. You could watch any boxing match that you want to watch. And the problem is with boxing is out here they only air boxing that happens in the United States unless it's a big championship fight with a fighter with somewhat of an American following. You have to be a really big big European sensation to get airtime in the United States, like Amir Khan or Mikkel Kessler. You have to be like a European fighter that the networks see a lot of money in, or put a lot of money and a lot of stock in order to be aired out in the United States. And sometimes a lot of the European fighters have to be aired in the United States. A lot of the European fighters are Australian fighters as well, and that dates back to Costa Zoo. Sometimes has to venture out to the United States in order to get more exposure. Unlike a lot of European fighters who tend to stay in Europe, a lot make the travel over here to the United States, and most of the time, Showtime airs them, and usually it's Showtime that airs them. HBO, not so much HBO, because HBO it's pretty much more American fights on HBO. But if there's a fighter coming from another nation, another country, then they're fighting in the United States, and it's sad enough that a lot of these American channels don't even air some important fights. One of these fights that I think the fight that really pissed me off that America did not air was the Klitschko vs. Chambers fight. That was a fight that should have been aired by one of these networks on March 13th. I thought it was a fight that should have been there, because Vladimir Klitschko is the lineal champion at heavyweight, holds the most belts, and he's coming against a guy who is an American fighter, a young American fighter, to say the most, and there are people actually giving him more of a chance to win the belt than any other fighter. So I honestly thought that's a fight that should have aired in the United States. Same with, and it's like you guys aired Klitschko versus Shigaev, you might as well air Klitschko versus Chambers. And if Vladimir Klitschko fights Alexander Povetkin, I'm not sure if HBO or Showtime or whoever will air this fight this time, because HBO is willing to air it December 5th to 08, but I'm not sure now because after what happened with the Eddie Chambers fight, and Eddie Chambers lost to Povetkin in a fight that HBO aired, in January of 2008, but they simply didn't air that fight. But to be quite honest, with the Super 6 tournament and people talking about the Super 6 possibly airing on network TV, I think the best way to get boxing back on network television is to sign the winner of the Super 6 to an exclusive television deal, which is something that is done in the United Kingdom. I believe, and there are people who think that the winner of the Super 6 is pretty much being groomed to go to HBO, but it doesn't have to be that way. And I think pretty much as I mentioned, the way to get boxing back on network television is to get the winner of the Super 6. And to be quite honest with the Super 6, and due to the fact that we're talking about boxing with the Super 6, and due to the fact we're talking about network television in the United States, and this is my honest opinion, if it was two European fighters, I don't think the United States would air it if it was two European fighters taking on each other. So I think in order for the Super 6 to be on network television, then it has to be an American fighter in the main event in the championship round. I think it has to be an American fighter. And either Darrell or Ward in the finals and if say Arthur Abraham or Mikkel Kessler or Carl Froch come up in the final round, then it brings an intriguing bout. Or two Americans in the final round, but you have to have an American in the final round for the Super 6 finals to air on air on network television. Because, and on top of that, it brings about a pretty good story. The World Cup, I didn't necessarily watch it, but there's a lot of national pride with the World Cup and with the Olympics and all the other sports that air. A lot of people have been watching the sports lately, and it's proven with the ratings for the finals with the Lakers, when I believe 18 million people watched the finals between the Lakers and the Celtics, and a lot of people were talking about it. And this here in boxing could bring a lot more people into the sport. And the best way to bring boxing back to network television is to sign the winner of the Super 6. And I know that the networks have the money to sign the winner of the tournament, whether it be Andre Ward or Andre Darrell. And I'm definitely sure as hell gonna count Alan Green the fuck out, because he's not winning shit. So I'm gonna go with me. These are the three fighters that have a chance, in my opinion. I think Darrell, Ward, and I'm going to say Froch. I like Froch. Froch, maybe Abraham. But those are the four fighters I'm looking at. I'm not even going to count Kessler out, because I think Kessler may get to the finals because he's fighting Alan Green next. But I'm here talking about the Super 6. But most of all, I think that's the best way of bringing boxing to network television. That's why Super 6 is such a good thing, because it can bring boxing back to network television. More people will watch it, more people will get into it, and we'll have more boxing fans, possibly more YouTube channels, and that's always going to be a good thing. So anyway, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.